And apparently the kid who was having it is like pretty messed up from what happened. So I was surprised it took them that long to drop him, to be honest. If that happened, I would have dropped him immediately.
Yeah.
It looks bad on Arizona.
Round.
Well, they would have been like, they were probably thinking of like keeping him and then like just doing some sort of public thing to like train him. But then they probably started actually thinking about it and be like, oh wait, the NHL did this whole Black Lives Matter thing this year. It kind of looked counterproductive to that if we did something else.
Man, how would you feel to be that guy? He's fucking threw away his NHL career.
Well, the point people were making, like the guys were like, "Oh, you're ruining the kid's career." I was like, "Yeah, but the kid who he basically abused the shit out of, that kid has to live with it forever. That kid would have gone on to make $800,000 as an introductory contract. So it's just like, oh,
Yeah,
so
it
he
should
gets to
ruin
go
his
on with his
career,
life
man.
without any
Guy's a piece of
repercussions.
shit. We don't.
Yeah.
No one wants to see guys like
I'm
that.
not just saying that anything, but it's like you fucked up. Look what you did to your life.
Yeah, no,
Now
I
you-
agree.
Now what are you gonna do? You worked so hard to be a professional athlete. Now what?
I
Yeah.
think it sets a
Idiot.
good
over.
example too for people being like kids like in high school. Like I mean, we were all stupid as shit.
Matt, we
too,
can
and,
hear
like,
you eating,
absolutely.
so
And, like,
clearly through.
You know, we didn't know
You're eating
probably
a hot
a
dog.
fucking burrito.
Yeah, I can
Yep.
hear you.
Yeah, we can hear
You're
you.
good.
Let's get started, boys.
I'm ready when you boys are. Lovely.
Bless me. This camera I got has like a freaking fisheye lens. I kind of hate it, but
Mm.
It looks way better than your other one.
You know who likes fish eyes? Norman.
well, they are a delicacy.
Let the dogs out.
I don't think it was my camera. I think it was just Courtney's laptop being slow. Yeah, but now I got a webcam, so I'm good.
Lovely. I am ready whenever you guys are.
Peter, you cut out.
He said same.
Holy shit.
Boom. It's the mic. The boom was said.
Achoo! Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah. See, you see what Matt's wearing? Matt came ill prepared, so I had to sacrifice my goods.
Yes, Wait.
If I go like this, it works. Apparently, the sensitivity's like stupid crazy.
Okay, well, Peter, we could trade mics back, and I'll see if I can get this to work. It'll just take me a couple minutes. You want to do that, like before
Do
we
you
get
really
started?
do you really believe it'll work?
It,
We could do that. I do have a snowball.
Peter, why don't we I've gotten this to work before. I feel like it's
Okay, well then.
Let me just figure it out.
so not too much of a change. So it is now the morning of Saturday, January 17th. You have a funeral at 2 p.m. What would you guys like to do before then?
Did me sleeping gain back any more health points?
You have a major wound, so I don't think so.
Sweet.
Let me double check that.
I'm gonna need to use that shotgun many times over to protect myself. Yeah. You know, I feel if I shoot enough holes in myself, eventually my body's gonna be forced to recover.
So those
So
without a major wound, we get a point back, right?
yeah, if you don't have a major wound, you get a 1 hit point back per day.
Dope.
That's great.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm so happy for you guys that you
I
guys have
feel better
doctors.
than I've ever. I feel just as good as I've ever felt.
How do I get rid of my major wound again, Jack?
So you either get half your total HP, or you make a Constitution check at the end of every week from the day that you got the major wound. So you can make a Constitution check on Friday and potentially get rid of your major wound.
Okay.
I don't have a major wound, right?
No, you got to half your hit point maximum, I think.
Yes.
You did have a major wound when you fell off the balcony, but I think you've recovered since then.
I have exactly half my health.
Yeah. So, yeah.
No,
It's
it's Saturday.
We'll know when it's a Monday.
Evan, what happens on Monday?
I don't know.
Oh, God knows. I haven't decided. I roll 1d100, and that's how much sanity loss he takes.
Jeez.
And that's
No.
just the start of the day.
Yeah.
That's before his first cup of coffee.
And then he rolls a second 1d100.
What you guys don't know is that I actually gave Norman a sanity pool of 500, and I've just been depleting at that because I assumed he was already insane.
Potentially.
So, is there anything you guys would like to do before Jackson's funeral?
Where did we spend the night?
Can-
Was it at
Some of you,
Leon's hideout?
some of you went to Leon's hideout. I think some of you said you were going back to your own house.
Is there another physician nearby? Because it's daytime, right?
You gonna go do more coke already, bro? It's freaking 7 a.m.
Doctor.
Would there is there just like a doctor's office I can just quickly stop in and see if they can heal some more of my life?
Did you fall down the stairs?
No.
So, unfortunately, unless you're entering into long-term care at a hospital, there's nothing you can do about it right now because the first aid and medicine have already been used on you for that instance of combat.
All right, boys, I'm gonna have to go into a long-term care facility.
All right, guys, you have fun. I'm gonna go to the hospital.
See ya in 2 sessions.
What if I go to a different continent, Jack? Does that count as a new doctor? A new med check?
Well, if you go to another continent, you'll probably have to. It takes a while to travel between continents in 1925, so it's
True.
probably going to be like a two weeks. So you got 2 chances at the Constitution.
Oh,
probably.
perfect. I cannot wait.
So just don't get in any fights before then. and
All
maybe
right,
you'll
you
live.
boys. I'm gonna go to the funeral, but I'm gonna be nice and passive.
What
They
do
come
you-
after us.
What are you expecting to happen at this
Yeah,
funeral?
what do you think's gonna happen at the damn?
Well, I mean,
Leon-
I didn't expect a building to blow down or burn down or a hole to be punched through my stomach, but alas,
Oh.
here we are.
Oh, wait a second. Against my better judgment. Now I remember. Against my better judgment, you ran out of the burning building. The bad guys saw you. So of course we can expect something horrible to happen at Jackson's funeral because they know exactly what we look like.
Didn't you guys run out of the building too?
Well, they would have thought we were dead until
no,
they
but didn't-
come down
didn't-
into the basement, and then
didn't-
we would have killed them because we would have had all of us.
That's
Norman,
true.
didn't you also run out of the building? And
Because
there was
they
a guy
were
that saw
down
you,
there trying to kill us.
but they still saw you.
They saw us because they were coming to kill us, and if all of us were down there,
I'm
Then we
imagining you
could
guys
have
are
killed
having this argument as you're like putting your clothes on for the funeral.
and if we had just If we
My
had done
God,
that,
God.
then we would have actually been able to kill them, and then they just would have thought the fire killed them.
Can
I
I?
don't hear anything from you about what we should have done, considering you are the primary contributor of everything that went wrong in that entire incident. Okay? So, like, oh, we should have burnt the building down.
What are you talking about? Incident. You know, that incident gave us some pretty good clues on who the heck these people are that killed Jackson and what we should be doing next with our time.
But
I mean,
if
that
I
was just-
recall, the building being on fire, A, didn't stop them from coming in, and B, it didn't have to be on fire because we already had got him to give us, or we already had got access to clues. You started the fire post us getting access to clues.
Well, it gave us enough time. The fire gave us enough time to go downstairs and peruse as we were doing, kill the blob thing in the fire pit, and find ourselves some nice treasure and clues before they came down. If we had not done that, they would have been through that door in seconds. And need I remind you, the fire is the thing that prevented them from coming in that very moment. So,
Is he right?
Mr. Leon,
He's not right.
if you think, that's all I have to say. That's it.
Don't you dare think.
Hey, is there a newspaper I can? Is there like a burnt, collapsed building somewhere in New York City that I can read about?
Would you like to get the paper?
Yeah, I would like to get the paper.
We're in my hideout, aren't we? That's where we ended
See,
up.
Clyde, you and Leon got out of there so fast that you got to look at the damn newspaper to even remember what the frick happened yesterday.
Norman, I'm gonna look at the paper because I'm pretty sure if you would have stayed in there, you'd be buried under a couple tons of rubble right about now.
I'm
that's-
also pretty sure that if I stayed in there, I would have been dead, considering I was dying.
You know,
Yeah, so if you, I don't know how much a newspaper
Oh,
costs in
the soot,
1925. I'm
the
gonna
soot
Google
that's
that.
still in my sinuses. Ugh.
I hate that Norman helps us get things done, but in the worst kind of way. You know, it's like we could have just casually explored the basement. We could have fought with the zombies. We could have killed the bad guys.
No, but we
Lit
would
up
have
the
left
building on
immediately.
fire.
We would have left immediately, and that's what I'm
That
saying, Harrison.
is the
They were
problem.
coming in. You had the guy on the ground with the gun pointed to him, like the brave man that you are, Harrison. And then they started coming in. Now, what would have happened next? They would have come in. Maybe we would have fought, but like our group loves to do, we probably would have ran. And then guess what? We would have never gone back into that basement and discovered what we discovered. We saved New York from a goddamn monster. I don't know if you saw anything on that.
Actually,
And then who knows what the frick Leon saw when he put that damn mask on, but he seemed a little bit shaken up from it.
I just want to point out to you, Norman, we've barely run away from any event. Usually we fought, and although not super successfully, we've usually stayed and fought. The only times that I've seen someone run was when Clyde and I tried to escape the fire, and when I first was facing
Yeah, let me stop
Louise
you right
Mendoza.
Let me stop you right there. Whose idea was it to crush the undead thingamajigs with the giant stone covering the big blob? Was it me? Because I'm pretty sure it was me. So you could say all you want about how I ran away that first time. I'd never seen anything like that before.
No, but
you know
I
what?
wasn't saying
Since
that.
then,
I
I've
was
proven
I was
myself time and
contradicting-
time again that I'm a
Norman,
resourceful
you
person of this
senile
group,
old
and I can
fucking man.
fight like the rest of you.
This is
I
a
was not-
sad day.
I was not talking about you. I'm defending us as a group, saying we probably would have fought them.
Hold on a sec.
Stop taking everything so goddamn personal, you senile old fuck.
Raise your hand if you've ever fled from combat in this campaign so far.
No.
No, yep, keep it up.
Okay.
Okay, so
I mean,
yes, you could imply that our group's a bunch of pussies.
Well, no. I have a
Over
question.
here, and the dashing young /
Harrison,
cunning
you
Harrison, you were the first one out
100%
the
have
door.
run.
Yeah.
You 100% have run. Let me look at my journal here. I've been documenting.
Look through your journal. Look through your journal, because I'm sure it was easy for you to fill out all the details about who ran and who didn't, as you were
Alright, well,
halfway
I mean,
down the alley when we were fighting
I-
the bad guys.
Let me start from the very beginning, shall I? Let's
Can,
see here.
can I just say I love how every session begins with you guys arguing?
Yeah.
A tradition.
I just want.
See,
We have
Oh, there's
problems.
Harrison. There's Harrison when he proposed to Ruth and was completely rejected. Oh, great
Yeah, fond
time.
memory.
Okay, there's
I wish you the best, Ruth.
there's
I mean,
Harrison.
technically, I wasn't necessarily like I haven't run from once we started combat. I
Oh,
escaped the fire burning building before combat started.
So Clyde, a newspaper in the 1920s apparently costs like 2 cents from what I googled. So I'm not going to make you even mark that down. Like that,
Perfect.
whatever.
Oh, and there's Harrison being scared by a snake in Peru. Oh,
I bet if I entered combat with a snake and fight it instead of running away.
You do have a phobia of animals.
That's true. I mean, unless the snake grew wings and a beak, I think I could take care of things pretty effectively.
So yeah, Clyde, the newspaper, it's very much like building burns in central Harlem. Dozens of families displaced due to burning blaze. Local businesses affected.
I'm gonna read
2
this
police
out loud,
officers
everyone.
dead.
Yep.
Wow, sure would hate to be the guy responsible for displacing families in Harlem in the cold.
Is the building like still standing, or has it been like
It
pretty much
doesn't
condemned?
say. There's like a photo of the street, but it's 1920s photography, so it's tough to say.
Harrison.
Oh,
Police investigation ongoing.
Bruce,
Harrison,
do you like your gloves?
I just remembered something. Remember
Yeah,
when you
tell me.
told me what you did when you left the burning building last night? Yeah. Did you now remind me, did you fight the gentleman trying to kill you? Or did you run away from them? When was this last night? Yeah, you ran away. You ran away. So you
Just
fled.
paint me a picture.
So you-
So it was last
So
night.
you left the burning building
I
like
left the burning
this.
building.
and then they were there as you described.
Yeah, the bad
Someone
guys.
died. And then guess what you did next? You ran away. So when you
Was
say
I asleep when all this happened?
This is
Let's-
you. I don't think you were here yet, but Clyde and Leon and you left the burning building and got
And
away
ran.
from the
ran away
people.
from some bad guys. So
Here-
when
here-
I wasn't.
when,
I wasn't
Matt,
mentally present, Norman.
when
Matt,
you
let me
say-
explain.
When you say,
Matt,
when you
Let me
say,
explain what happened. When we left the building, this ginormous behemoth of a man walked up between the 2 police officers and killed both of them instantly, and then he just killed them. I think he just
Technically,
stabbed him.
He
Did
got
he?
he got his 2 minions to stab him.
Oh, okay.
So-
I thought he stabbed him.
Oh shit.
Any Tropper
that guy-
boss stands in the background while his minions do the work. Come on.
That's true. Sorry, we do all
then-
the work while
yeah.
Ruth stands in the back.
and then
Ruth's the only one who fought anyone yesterday.
You all ran away.
No, I fought someone. I just got my ass fucking handed to me
didn't you
by
run
some.
away?
you all ran.
beast.
Mortally wounded
but
man.
Leon, are you alive right now, or did you run away from the fight eventually?
I mean, can I not be both? Or
Did
am I
you run
dead if I
away?
am I
Did you
dead if
run
I
away?
ran away?
Didn't you
You
actually
ran away.
lose a weapon as well?
I believe the question was.
Hey Ruth, do you like your claws that I'm gonna take back anytime
I
soon?
believe the question was.
Jack, I would like to
Who here-
forcefully remove the gloves from Ruth.
I believe
Do
the
you
question
actually?
was.
Yes.
Who here
Come
Who
on.
here
Come
ran
on,
away
don't fight over
from-
sessions, okay?
ran away from
You wanna
any
fight
time we've been
mortally wounded
together?
man?
And guess what? You have, and she has, and
You
I
have too.
many times. So
So
we
Clyde's
all
gonna
have
sit
run
down
away.
and read the
So,
funnies in the paper.
Bringing it all the way back to the beginning of my argument. Inside Juju House, we would have ran away. So me setting the fire is the reason why we got to the basement and discovered all these nice and cool things. Thank you very much. I rest my case.
No,
I hate,
I'm going to bring
that
up.
he kind of has a point.
No, I'm going to bring up a better point. I'm going to explain the situation. So the hotel room. Did we run or fight?
Kind of
Wow.
both.
We both. Ruth flew out the window.
Ruth didn't run. She flew.
Yeah.
I got
All right, we fought. We fought. With Luis Mendoza, did we run or fight?
You're
I
the only
fought.
one who ever fought it.
I fought Clyde Red.
You fought Luis Mendoza twice
I didn't
on
know.
your own, Clyde.
One on
No one
one.
else ever fought him.
1-on-1.
And then
No, 5-on-2, and then 5-on-2, and then 5-on-3, and guess what? Then it was all of a sudden like 7-on-5, and guess what? We would have ran
It was only 3-on-5, wasn't it?
at the time, but we knew more was coming.
You know what? I'm trying to give us the benefit of the doubt, but you need to go into a long-term care, not me.
Why
So
are we
I feel
arguing
great.
about the past? It doesn't matter.
Jack, I'm rolling to remove the gloves forcefully after Ruth belittled me.
Okay, that's a fighting brawl because that's a fighting maneuver. Ruth, you can fight back or you can try and dodge.
I'm gonna dodge.
Okay.
Okay,
Ruth,
I rolled a hard success.
Oh, Ruth.
God, I've never seen.
I've been
someone
training
aggressively-
all the stored energy I was talking about. This is it.
It's gonna work too. That's
Biggest
what
moment of
pisses
the
me off is
campaign.
it's gonna work.
Think about how much stored energy he's gonna have after November's over.
God.
That's just a normal success.
Okay.
Should have waited a couple more days, Peter.
These gloves. I've grown attached
You-
to them.
You have to earn them back now. I'll hold on to them, and once you've earned them, you get them back. And by
Leon,
earn them-
the opportunity to earn the gloves available to other party members, by the way.
You know what, Harrison? You've been really nice to me, so you know there's that potential.
I'm a boxer.
A boxer.
Um,
Fingers don't wipe with their claws. It doesn't
So-
make any sense.
So yeah,
Hey, Leon, didn't Harrison
Leon-
and Bears you at
Leon,
the
you
gun shop
managed
the
to
other
just
day?
like wrestle the claws away from Ruth, and you have them back now.
Real
Perfect.
manly Leon. Asking for
Okay,
a
Ruth.
gift back.
Oh, I didn't ask for a gift back. I just took the gift back.
Yeah. It's a good thing I took the mysterious ring back. That thing means everything to me. Ruth, I will literally buy you a set of boxing gloves, like steel lined with claws on them. I don't even care as long as I get the scratchy gloves from Leon.
Does such a thing exist?
Steel lined boxing gloves.
With claws?
I'll make him for you, baby. I want you to be happy, but I want the claw gloves more than that.
You know, Harrison, I know you've written about a great many things, but I think I'd
Yes.
prefer the real thing
Allegedly.
from the Juju house.
Nothing's good enough for you, is it, Ruth?
But Ruth, you got the magic stick or the wooden stick.
The
You got the scepter.
scepter. That's the word I was looking for.
All right. Are you guys going to keep arguing, or can
Can
we
we go?
take it to the funeral?
I suggest we all dress our best and head for the funeral.
Yep.
All right. So as you make your way out into the frigid morning air of New York, you eventually get to the cemetery. What's the name of the cemetery again? It is Cypress Hills Cemetery in Brooklyn. 2 p.m. The ceremony is rather brief, non-denominational. There's not many people in attendance. The priest, I'm not sure why there's a priest if it's non-denominational, but whatever. Encourages anybody who wants to say a few words about Jackson and kind of gestures to the crowd. So
I grab Norman by the back of his neck and pull him in close, and I say, "Don't you say a goddamn thing. Don't even think about it, old man."
I'd like to say a few words.
Ah,
Jack, can I see if I recognize any people, or if there's any weird like kind of people that stand out in the crowd?
make a spot hidden check.
All right. I got a 30 and my spot hidden check is 30. So I don't does ties go for me or
No, you have to
No,
get
they don't.
below.
Use some luck.
Oh, okay. Mm,
It's only
Oh.
one luck point.
It's only one luck point. If you tie, just use luck.
yeah, I'll use it. I'll use it. I'll
Jared's luck.
Doesn't count as a success. Oh, I think Jack. I think we forgot to have anyone increase their stats because it's a new day.
You only increase stats at the end of an adventure.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Okay, so I guess I succeeded, like just normal success.
Normal success by using 1 point of luck.
Yeah.
So just regular success. So kind of quite a ways away from the funeral, kind of like pulling one of those like man in black coat watching from afar during the funeral. You see a young woman in black overcoat. She looks African American, sort of a slightly lighter complexion, long hair down past her shoulders, just kind of standing by a tree. And then the two other people in attendance at the funeral. One is a slightly overweight white fellow, quite rotund, robust, and one is sort of wiry, lanky, sort of African American guy with a pencil-thin mustache and balding hair. Anyways, yeah.
Well,
So the priest gestures to Norman's like, "Ah, yes, my child, come, speak some words for your departed friend."
Well, I've known Jackson several years, and we first met when I was at a low point in my life and needing some adventure. I'm a man from Halifax, and having my hometown blown to smithereens does a lot to a man, including losing some best friends and a good drinking spot. An adventure with a man like Jackson was exactly what I needed to get me in a better frame of mind for a man at his old age. After that adventure with him, we just had a connection. And while we didn't really see each other again for another several years, the communications back and forth via letters was something I always looked forward to. Jackson, you were a wonderful friend, and I'll miss you dearly. May you rest in pieces.
Wow. Oh my god.
So nice. The last line got me so off guard. Oh.
I'm gonna
Oh
take
my
a solid a solid few steps away from the group as Norman returns to the group so that I'm not associated with the last part.
Surprised we don't have to roll sanity after that.
That was so beautiful. That's Norman. You regain 4 luck points.
Oh.
I was curious, Jack, would I be able to try to stealth and get closer to the mysterious person to at least get like a license plate or something of the vehicle near them?
You're sitting in a cemetery or standing in the cemetery right now, and it's quite open. So,
Well, fuck.
Not the
Alright, well,
jacket though.
I'm gonna just start walking in that general direction and just like be like, oh, I'm walking over here now.
sure thing. Anything else anyone wants to do during this funeral?
No, not me. I don't want to make a scene. I'm just here to pay respects.
All right, excellent.
Bye.
So, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Jackson is buried in the ground. Funeral over. Okay. So, after the, I didn't realize that was Matt in the background of Peter's camera at first. It was like, what the hell?
Who's that? Behind you, Ruth.
Yeah. So, we'll get to Leon in a second. The rest of you are approached by the two other gentlemen who are in attendance at the wedding, or not the wedding, the funeral. So the first one, the sort of smaller, lankier black gentleman, introduces himself as Carlton Ramsay. It's wonderful to make your acquaintance. I was Jackson's lawyer and am the executor of his will. I'm assuming the several of you are his friends. He mentioned you in some of our correspondences, and if you would come back to my office later today, then I would be able to read his will to you and sort of give you the last bit of his affairs that he had left on this earth before he tragically left it.
It would be an honor.
Yeah.
Dibs book rights.
Wait,
Harrison, that's not how frickin' wills work, you dumbass.
Look, it's just a comment, okay? It's fine.
Uh,
It would be an honor,
Mr.
sir. We would be happy to do that, yes.
The larger white gentleman next to him pipes up and is like, "Well, actually, if it's anything about books you want, then I'm the guy you got to talk to. My name is Jonah Kensington. I'm the owner of Prospero House. I was Jackson's publisher. If you need anything else, and I've got some documents that he sent to me that might help you. If you come see me after you're done with Carlton here, then I could maybe set you on the right path as well."
This is the perfect time. This is the perfect time for Norman to release his murder mystery series that he's been working so hard on with his picture book.
Everyone here is so kind.
And where might we find you two? Where are your offices?
Excellent question, Graydon. So, Prospero House, the offices are located on Lexington Avenue near 35th Street. And Ramsey's office is in Harlem on 124th Street and Lenox Avenue. So, should we meet at my office in a few hours and perhaps reminisce about our time with Jackson and get on with what business he left for us?
Yes.
That sounds
Excellent.
lovely.
I look forward to seeing you all there. And come by to Prospero House anytime after that, and we can make arrangements. All right.
Great.
Excellent. Now, Leon.
Make any plans this afternoon?
Yeah. Leon, as you do not catch any of that conversation because you have already left and are going towards the woman at sort of standing at the edge of the funeral. As you approach her, she reaches into one of her pockets and takes out a notebook and approaches you. Is like, "Hello, Rebecca Schoenberg with the New York Times. Care to comment on any of the current events going on with?"
So damn, it's the press.
First off, my sincere condolences. Like, I love Leon was like, "Oh, I'm so ready to kill again." He wasn't prepared for a social interaction.
No, my pencil won't let me write down her name. It's okay. Give me a second. It's coming. All right, Rebecca. What?
Rebecca Schoenberg, Schosenb. I think URG or ERG maybe. URG. Schoenberg.
Right. Reporter at funeral. All right. I was just coming over to see if you had known Jackson. I didn't expect to get asked a whole bunch of what?
One singular question.
I'm not a social guy, Harrison. I'm a fucking paid assassin. I don't really sit there and socialize.
You want to wave me over? I'm the man who can spin a good story. Tag me in, coach. I'm ready for you.
It's like Harrison sees an attractive woman and is like, dibs.
Dib the book rights. Dib the woman. I'm all over this.
Do you wanna make that into motion? Do you want to say that actually happened? Like the moment Leon struck a conversation with a nice lady, I just like a cartoon, like Woody Woodpecker. Just...
Sure.
I'm gonna like, sorry, you said your name's Rebecca.
Oh, that's correct. Yes.
Did you
Renowned author?
Harrison, shut up.
She
Did you
she reaches out and shakes your hand, Harrison. Her
pleasure.
skin is very soft.
Wow, I noticed that actually. You didn't have to
Yes.
say anything at all. I really noticed that. What my friend Leon meant to say here was, sorry, what was the question?
Well, I was wondering if you wanted to. First off, my condolences. I'm sorry about your friend.
Thank you.
It's an unfortunate string of events that's struck Harlem the past 2 days, but also the months before that.
I forgot Norman said that suspicious comment.
Rest in pieces.
Well, at least she wasn't there. Hopefully she didn't hear that. Hopefully she was far enough away that she just saw the funeral.
So I've been covering some of the recent murders in Harlem, and I was wondering if you wanted to reach out for any comments regarding your friend's death or any of the strange occurrences as of late.
I think the worst thing about Jackson Elias's death, other than the fact that it was a brutal, ghastly murder, is arriving at the hotel where we were supposed to meet, and he was gone. We went to his room, no one was there.
Why would you say that we went to his room? Why didn't you just say the cops were there?
He was no one because we weren't there at the same time that he was, because he wasn't there because we were there when he was not there. You understand that, right? I think the worst part is never getting to say goodbye, never getting to have the last chance to speak.
We
to
just
my
said
friend,
goodbye.
Jackson Elias. Well, this doesn't count. He's dead already. It's not like the type of goodbye where he says goodbye back because he's dead, Leon. He's dead.
You wanna give me a persuade roll there, Harrison?
Why did you insert yourself into the situation,
I don't-
Harrison?
Because I'm the
I don't even want to give him support on this, Jack.
You don't have to.
Can I give him a negative dice roll?
Everyone has their own personal strengths. You're good at shooting. I'm good at talking. Okay, and I think I'm proving that to you right now. And when I succeed on this dice roll, after I figure out which dice I
Actually, I'm pretty good at persuading.
What's your?
You aren't the one who was talking.
Yeah.
I know.
Where's your persuade skill? Just tell me, just tell me.
I know I'm
Just
not
tell me
able
what your
to.
persuade skill is, Jared.
It's a 35.
Is 35? Oh, really? You didn't invest as many skill points as possible into persuasion like I did? Ooh, that's a shame. I guess we'll see how that turns out.
Metagaming.
Can I? You know what?
Hard success. It's a rock
Hard
solid
success.
There.
Excellent. Right. Well, again, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you went to the hotel where he was murdered.
Well, it's just it's important that I clarify that the two events are not intertwined at all. That's where we were supposed to meet him.
Do you think?
Sorry.
Do you think you didn't see his body, or you didn't find him there because his body was already in the alley next to the hotel?
It's a possibility. I heard about such an occurrence that his body had wound up in the alley, but I only found that out in the newspapers later when I was told about it in the newspapers later.
And how do you think this relates to the other murders that have happened in Harlem the past several months?
I think that these murderers are bold enough to sign their disgusting crimes, and they will pay for their crimes. I'm certain that law enforcement and the judicial system in the United States of America will bring these criminals to justice, and no third parties will involve themselves in the situation whatsoever. I'm certain of this.
And do you think Hilton Adams, the man who was arrested later in the fall last year, is
Later in the fall last year? Can you like give me a date? Sorry, Rebecca, to cut you off.
Rebecca, I just wanna point out Harrison here. He is a writer. He's very much dramatizing what has happened. At least when I came across and heard about this murder, I arrived at the hotel and we found the police there and the devastation on the outside of the building, and it was just horrendous what we found. And at first I didn't know it was our good friend that had been killed in that whole exchange. But I think Harrison here, he's been through a lot. Harrison was closer to Jackson than most of us.
He's an inspiration to me.
They were both writers. They often explored their work together.
Well, as this is happening, I'm gonna like walk alongside.
Can someone
Norman
please
and-
come help me salvage
and Ruth.
this
And
situation?
I'm gonna offer both Norman and Ruth a cigarette.
Rebecca,
want one?
have
I'm gonna
you?
take it?
Rebecca,
Norman, do you want a cigarette?
who are you talking was found in the fall?
the man arrested for the murders in the fall, Hilton Adams? Do you think this exonerates him, or do you think he's still connected to the murders? Do you think the police caught the wrong man?
I mean, I'm no.
I have absolute faith in law enforcement here in the United States of America in 1920, and I think that there's nothing that they could possibly do incorrectly when it comes to catching bad guys.
That's so meta.
No.
I'm gonna.
It was true in 1925, and it's true in 2020.
There's lots of crime bodies around New York in that time, right? So
Sure.
if I'm correct, okay, we'll go with that. So I'm just like, well, he may not. It might not show that he's innocent, but it might show that there is more people working with him than just him. I mean, this New York is known for its major crime bodies. For all we know, it's an organization that's involved in this, not just a single person.
Do you think that organized crime would kill the victims in such a ritualistic way as they have, carving symbols into their foreheads and disemboweling them?
I'm gonna light Ruth's cigarette, then light mine. I'm gonna take a long drag and just
Can I try to like?
doing?
Because I'm gonna like I want to try to be like I'm like genuinely shocked. Like they did what? they've been
Performance? Is it a performance role?
no
What?
they carved symbols into them.
Make a persuasion roll.
Didn't I already say that there were symbols in their heads? Didn't I already act like I knew that?
Okay.
Doesn't matter. We succeeded.
Come on, read a book.
Right. Well, this has been enlightening. I'm sorry for taking up too much of your time, and again, my condolences. If you can think of anything else that you might want to discuss with me, here's my card.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I will keep this in mind. Rebecca Harrington.
Schoenberg.
No.
Chosenberg. Sorry, I was just thinking about how good your name would be if mine was in it. I mean, what?
Your last name is, isn't it Ford or Dodge? And your first name's Harrison, not
It's an
Harrington.
expression. I was trying to salvage the situation. I got the nice lady's name wrong. For God's sake.
Harrison, you're the dumbest person I've ever met in my entire life.
She-
I've had
she-
over
Did you have to look in
1,000
a mirror?
fish on my
I'm gonna lean
I'm
over
gonna-
to
I'm-
Clyde and be like, that guy proposed to me.
I'm gonna walk over to Ruth and be like, Ruth, I have seen, like, I just put up with whatever the fuck that was. And you know what? I was angry with you at first, but at this point, please, please never let Harrison leave the group again without being monitored. I will give you these gloves back. Please
I just feel like you guys
don't
trust
let
me.
him.
I just feel like you guys don't rely on me. Literally, I know myself. You know why I know myself? Because I have one of these, okay? I looked at my statistics, aka my characteristics as a person, and I knew that I would be the right person to speak to this nice reporter lady. If we wanted to assassinate the nice reporter lady, we would have called you up, Leon, or better yet, just allowed you to stay there in the situation, okay? Because we work a team, we gotta work, we gotta help each other, and we gotta play to each other's strengths. And I just feel like you don't trust me to be strong in the things
Harrison,
that I'm strong
Harrison,
stop
in.
yelling.
Harrison, just for a second. Did you say reporter?
Yeah,
Yes.
You were talking to a reporter.
yeah, and I gave her a very true, factual description of the story that would not make her suspicious of us at all, because there's no reason for her to
Clyde,
be suspicious because we didn't do anything wrong.
just be careful. He told her that we went to the hotel.
We went to the hotel because that's where he told us to meet him. Okay, I don't think it's that.
We
sus.
who?
But you also said that we went up to his room and didn't find him there. And then she clearly stated, "Oh, it's because his body was outside the window."
Yeah, but I mean, we didn't know that the body was
And,
outside
and
the
then you
window.
talked about how you knew about the signature kills.
Because I read it in the newspaper. They put it in the news. It was in the news.
And then you
Look, I did
both
my
came over
research.
here and associated with us?
I just want to point out that I went over to see if she knew Jackson, and I was about to ask that question, and
Well, I mean, clearly she wanted to get to know Jackson, right? Because she was asking questions about him, right?
Ruth, here's the gloves.
Thank you, Leon.
Whatever. I don't want your stupid gloves, anyways. I have my
Harrison,
charm
for-
and charisma.
for all your supposed books, do you talk to the press before you release them? Or do you talk to them when everything is finished and wrapped up and we have answers?
I mean, Harrison, I'm surprised you just didn't tell her we were at Juju House last night having a frickin'
Bonfire.
Bonfire. Bonfire.
Well, you know, guys, I have to say, based on my personal assessment as an expert, I feel like we got away with that scot-free. And so allow me to just say you're welcome. And maybe one day before we wrap up our adventures together, you guys will learn to trust me. But if not, then I'll just have to write in my novel about how I adventured with a bunch of punks that didn't trust me and didn't understand my brilliance. And that's just fine. So whatever, guys, this has been a great funeral. Let's just go do literally anything else. How about that? Huh?
Your books usually aren't true anyway, so.
Yeah, well, in my books, I said that you were a nice lady, and that's not true. So,
Oh, Harrison.
So that proves her point.
Proposed to her.
well, I
That proves that you lied.
in the book, I proposed to a different woman, and she said yes, and we're now married.
And you lived happily ever after.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Don't
and I
you,
got
Rebecca.
from a octopus lady.
Don't you publish your works as like documentaries and nonfiction?
Well, let me just ask you. Let me just step out of the role of Harrison Dodge for a second, Graydon, and ask you: is reality TV
considered
true?
nonfiction?
Did you guys
Like
find out?
reality TV
No, but if
true?
you're publishing a book as like historical facts of things, like I genuinely I don't know if you what type of
I
your
like
books
to
are.
imagine that there's
Story,
there's
Clyde.
like one like grave digger like in the background just like shoveling dirt and watching you guys like argue about this.
Can we go somewhere and not argue?
Yo, can
Anyway,
we
so-
search Jackson's dead body in the grave? Have they buried it yet?
Oh my goodness.
What?
I mean,
no.
Oh my
No.
God.
No. That was a joke. We're moving on.
Diving into a dead man's grave while his body is being lowered in there, at least somewhat reasonable, it's going to be you. So why don't you just go ahead and let us know how it goes.
I mean,
Can-
it's like
we not-
it's not completely filled yet. Like the funeral just ended.
Can we not? There's a reporter that is literally over
They
there.
wouldn't leave valuables on his body.
I dropped the key to me Mary in the grave. I must go look inside the hole.
Okay.
Are you actually?
No.
Well, what if there's something on him still that we didn't see before because he was busy? We were too busy watching him
Norman,
get
you're
flung out
just
the window.
You're just riding a high after burning down a building and finding things. Don't get
Probably
it.
riding the high from the cocaine he was given last night.
Don't get ahead of yourself. Going in a dead man's grave is not a wise choice.
Norman,
All right, we'll come back. You're right. We'll come back later with a shovel.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Where are we
gentlemen,
going?
there was a lawyer here who had Jackson's last will and testament that I feel we should go and inquire about.
Okay.
Oh, so it's all right to take a dead man's things if it's a will and testimony, but we can't just go into his grave and take it.
No, Norman, we can't.
what don't you understand about the world, Norman?
It's not how things work on land, Norman.
What is it about those two things that you can't see the difference between?
He's running on maritime salvage laws, okay? Jackson's body at sea is flotsam and jetsam, okay? That is legally, that if he finds it, it's finders keepers. He doesn't understand the way that things work on land.
All right, well,
Okay.
let's go. To this
So
thing.
you making your way to Carlton's office?
Yeah.
All right. So, it probably takes you about an hour to get there. I would guess. I'm being pretty liberal with these guesstimates because I don't know anything about New York. I think that's probably pretty clear by now.
It actually took a week.
It did not, funnily enough.
No, Jack. I have a lot of knowledge about New York.
Gotcha. Okay.
Same New York that the gremlins from Gremlin 2 hang out in.
So, the
Just blows over that. Jack's gonna be immune to bullshit pretty soon.
there's someone in this campaign who's immune to bullshit, and don't you worry about it. Events have been put in motion.
You idiots!
Who is the idiot?
Which one? Yeah.
Well, let's
I-
just say that Miss Schosenberg rolled really well on her psychology check.
Oh.
I didn't even have a chance to fucking say anything before Showboaty over here got over there.
All right,
Well,
so you
apparently
make your
I'm
way.
associated now.
Why are you putting at Peter and Matt? Or pointing at Peter and Matt?
I was about to say, well,
Yep, there you
guess
go.
I'm guilty.
There you go. Anyways, so you guys make your way to Carlton's office. His secretary welcomes you in, and you're seen into his office. He's like, well, I'll be happy once we put this day behind us. How are you all doing after that affair?
Great. Got a girl's number.
Oh my god.
We're clearly all hurting terribly.
We all grieve in different ways.
So sometimes you just have to look at the bright side. Okay.
Right.
I can't wait to
well,
go to jail.
I'm just
Speaking
glad-
of the
I'm
bright
just
side.
glad I could let Jackson down one last.
No, no! We just had his funeral. It's been an hour.
Carlton opens a drawer in his desk and plops a bottle of bootleg bourbon down on the table and is like, well, I need a drink.
Here,
Please.
Are you offering?
Please.
He pours around for anyone who wants one.
Yeah, I'll take one.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
if I may
Give me a
make
double.
a traditional cheers from the sea to my friend Jackson. Once you're here, next you're not. Make sure that your rope has a good knot.
It's taut.
Cheers.
Yeah, I know. Literally everyone else's brain was like, is taut, and he's just like, they're not.
As ropes tend to have. Oh.
Oh,
Oh. Well, huh. It's a little bit strange. Jackson only just got back to New York, and the day before his untimely death, he updated his will ad nauseum. So you five are the only people mentioned. Jackson has no family and a very small circle of friends. So it seems whatever he was working on next was he thought was quite big. I'm sure Jonah will be able to fill you in on some other details, but for now, let's get down to it. I do genuinely believe Jackson was quite scared for his life at some point. Whatever he was researching seemed to have spooked him enough to want to take some care with his finances and what would happen to him should he have passed. So, the important points of the last will and testament are that Elias has given me full power of attorney. I have complete authority over his assets to liquidate as I see fit. The assets that Jackson has, he's instructed me to use these to create and manage a fund. Any friends that attend this reading will make use of this fund to continue his investigation of the Carlisle expedition. I'm not entirely sure what he was doing with the Carlisle expedition, but I'm sure that was what his next big move was. I can make disbursements from this fund to pay for travel, accommodation, living costs, equipment purchases, legal bills, medical expenses, so on and so forth. As long as you submit receipts to me here in New York, then I can reimburse you from the fund for anything that you should need. If you need anything, I'm going to be your central point of contact. So if you stay together or split into groups, I'm the one you'll want to talk to for any reasons. And should you need to hire anybody else from outside of your group, you can contact me for that as well.
Does this trust have a name?
It does not. Would you like to name it?
Oh God.
Thank you for this opportunity.
It should be something tasteful.
The Rebecca
Fine.
knows our
Oh, you
bullshit
took the
fund.
words
Jackson.
Me?
Okay.
Sorry, my
Please.
friend, carry on. I wish to hear
Well,
what you have to say.
Jackson also left a letter with me to be read to anyone who attends this this reading of his will and testament. So I would like to read that to you now, if you would allow me.
Yes.
All right. This is going into the handouts section, gentlemen.
No, I don't want to have to read it. I thought you would.
I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it to you, but it's going to be there for your reference, should you need it.
Okay. Read away.
I don't remember what voice I really gave Jackson, but I'm going to try and remember. Greetings from beyond the grave. By now, you know that I've really. His handwriting's really tough to read.
I
I'm
know,
going to see if
that's what-
there's.
For your
By now
reference,
you
I
know
was
that-
like,
That all
Yeah.
I've really
I've read it
left you
before.
is a
I
whole
just- I
heap
just
of
think-
trouble.
trouble.
Oh, I've got a higher quality version in the PDF.
Oh, okay.
Or actually,
This
it's probably
looks like-
easier. It's probably easier in the actual book.
This looks like some of the writing I have to read when we
Yeah.
have like the consent forms or signatures from any of the doctors.
Yeah.
That is a
Nah. I didn't
That's
know-
much better.
I didn't
All
know
right,
Jackson
so-
was a doctor.
Yeah.
He was a
No shit.
doctor
Yeah.
of writing.
So, greetings from beyond the grave. By now, you know that all I've really left you is a whole heap of trouble. If I were still around to have an opinion on the matter, I would understand if you decided to walk away from it all. Hell, if I'm dead right now, that's a good indication I should have done the same. But you know me too well, and I know you too well. If you were the kind of person who always did the sensible thing, you wouldn't be such good friends. We wouldn't be such good friends. Pardon me. You've been there when I needed you in the past, and I hope you will be again, even if it's too late to save me. I've been pulling threads all over the world, and while most of them are still unraveling, I think I'm onto something big. Carlton and Jonah can fill in more of the details for you. I've left some of my papers and notes with them, which should help you work out which hornet's nests you need to poke next. I trust you to bring my killers to justice. Fucking well done on that. Of course, I'm assuming I was murdered. It will be just plain embarrassing if I was run over by a trolley car. Follow my investigation to its bloody end and seek out the truth. I'm not asking you to finish my book. None of you can write worth a damn. Your friend always, Jackson Elias.
That does sound like Jackson. That was a good.
That's actually in here. I remember laughing at that the first time I
Called
read
the
it.
writing fund.
Jackson still has a sick burn from beyond the grave.
See, I told you.
You son of a bitch.
See, Harrison, don't you feel? Never mind.
Well, I was going to really emotionally offer that we call this trust the Elias bond, but I don't feel any bond with that dead son of a bitch anymore. So.
Oh my, jeez, Harrison.
The Elias bond, the Jackson Elias bond.
Wow,
Right.
the original Leon.
I was gonna say I like that. I think Harrison actually said something good.
No, I disagree.
What do you want to call it? Let's
we
rob
call
his
it-
grave.
I think we call it
Grave robbers bun.
The Justice Fund.
the Jesse Hughes Fund.
That's not a bad idea. That's kind of below the radar, incognito.
That's not the worst idea, to be fair.
If you don't remember, that's the name that Jackson first introduced himself to us as.
Big brain.
Oh yes, there it is, Jesse Hughes.
So, from what I understand, the bulk of this fund and Jackson's assets came from your excursion in Peru some years ago. After liquidating most of Jackson's assets, the total value of his the Jesse Hughes fund comes to roughly $50,000 US that you now have access to.
Hold on a sec. I think something's missing here. 5, 4, 3. Woo!
What year is it again?
1925.
1925. Jackson, I knew you were good for something.
I just had like a big reaction and then realized my mic was muted. So
What's the guy's name again that we have? That's
That's a lot of freaking money.
Carlton?
Carlton Ramsay.
Okay.
That's $742,000 today.
And
Yeah, there's
buying
no
power was
small
better
sum.
back then.
Mhm.
Less went further. So, if there are no objections, then we can set this in motion. If you wish to back out of Jackson's last will and testament and not follow through on his desires, now would be the time to say so.
Leon does.
I don't think any
That's
of us
why-
have a choice at this point. I think we're in it for good.
What was that? Were those fighting words there, Harrison?
I mean, it depends on what you consider fighting words. I just said that you wanted to back out and leave more money for the rest of us. But if that's not true, feel free to say so.
Boys, can't
Well,
we
you-
have a conversation?
You don't get this money. This money is to be used in pursuit of the truth.
Yes.
We've
Yeah,
already
now-
backed ourselves in such a corner that the only way out is to
Keep backing.
lop our way
Burn
back
our way
into
through.
back into the sea cavern.
Get some rope and tie some knots.
Excellent. So, that is all Jackson had for me. If there's anything else that any questions you may have,
He
feel
he
free to ask.
mentioned Carlton that there's some leads, some hornets nests. He suggested that we talk to you about kicking.
Right. Well, I have done my due diligence. I would go and see Jonah at Prospero House, and he can give you any notes that Jackson acquired in the last year or so that he was investigating those leads. And
Oh.
that would be your next best place to start.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Of course.
I want to know about you, Carlton. How do you know Jackson?
Oh, Jackson and
Now-
I have been friends for quite some time. I've been his lawyer a number of years. Quite good friends we were.
Ruth
He's
is getting her
an
wheels
interesting
on.
character.
Got some rubber burning there, Ruth?
I just want to know who we're talking to. Nothing wrong with that. You jealous, Leon?
Don't
No.
make Norman suspicious.
Yeah, you don't want Norman. All real estate is in danger if Norman is suspicious. If he starts looking for a rug, you know you gotta run.
I've burned buildings with way less suspicion than this.
Yes. In addition to being Jackson's lawyer, I also handled most of his finances and lots of the administrative duties for him when he was overseas, taking care of any legal matters that he may have been involved in. As I've been his lawyer ever since he began writing professionally. I hope that answer isn't too vague.
No, that works. Thank you, Carlton.
Of course.
Sounds like we'll be in touch.
I sincerely hope so. Should you need money for travel expenses or equipment, let me know. I'm sure you'll perhaps be checking up on some leads regarding Jackson's killers.
Do we have to visit you firsthand to receive the money before we go on like a trip or something, or can we be funded like as we are making our way? Like, do we have to stop by
He
you?
said
Yeah.
to send the receipts back to him.
Just send receipts to me, and I will reimburse you for the funds. Reimburse you. Or make the funds available to you, should it be a large sum of money that you require.
All right. Well, we have our next stop. I suggest we go talk to the publisher.
Jonas, his name? Leon?
I wasn't. In that,
That's right.
I also wasn't in that
I'm
conversation.
informing you. Calm down, Leon.
Don't
Thank
make
you
me
for
take
your
those
time.
gloves back from you.
God.
You're real upset when you're hurt. You know that?
Thank you for your
You-
time, Carl.
You are
I'm
looking a
sure we'll be-
little bit under the weather, my friend.
Yeah,
everything okay?
I'm just gonna like put my hand over my stomach and be like, I have a quite a injury from our last encounter.
Oh, what was your last encounter?
Fighting freaky fish people.
No, Rebecca.
Now, before you go, on the down low, on just between us, you were all in Peru with Jackson when he was writing his previous book, and you presumably had some adventures with him, and he's clearly named you in his will. Do you have any idea who killed him?
Now, I'm being completely honest here. We have no idea who killed them or what in God's name, Poseidon's name, is going on.
Okay. Make a persuasion check.
What do you mean persuasion? I have no idea what's going on.
But you do know who killed him.
Oh,
Well,
I guess,
mean,
yeah.
We have a general idea. It's not like we know the name of the person that killed him. Do we?
Luis
No.
Mendoza.
Fail. Fail.
Fucking
Yeah.
Luis Mendoza.
Fail.
He kind of furrows his brow a little bit. It's like,
We know that they are cultists. Likely, if I had to guess based on what we've discovered here today, that they were on to Jackson as much as Jackson was on to them, and they came to silence him. But he won't die in vain. His
All right.
memory will live on, especially in my hurt feelings.
I'm gonna put my hand back on my wound and be like,
Right.
we've been we've had our run-ins with this cult.
All right. Just know that I'm not your lawyer, although I can offer legal advice and legal
Yes,
assistance.
please, for the love of God, after I want to hire him as my lawyer.
You have hired a lawyer.
Yes, thank goodness.
Congratulations.
Clyde,
Now-
I don't know why you have your head in your hands, because I feel like we can trust this guy. You kind of understood the situation. With
You
Jackson.
can talk to me about any things of dubious legality that may have occurred. I'm not going to turn you over to the authorities. I want to see justice for Jackson just as much as you do.
Well, I have to say that it's possible that Leon.
I would like
said
to.
some unfortunate things to a reporter.
I
get
said
the feeling
not.
that. I get the feeling that she didn't buy Leon's lack of truth very effectively, and so I think it's possible that we.
I would
we
like
don't
to.
have
I
the
would like
time
to
go
call
to court.
bullshit against him.
Okay, Leon, I'm talking to the nice gentleman. Can you give me a second, please? Okay, as I was saying, I think that we don't have the time to, go to court or be interrogated by the police, and we might need to get out of town to continue our investigations elsewhere sooner rather than later.
I would like to roll a psychology check on him, Jack. When you said that we can talk to him about anything, and,
Sure.
just to see if it seemed like it was a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
Off.
Make a psychology check. He's already
Okay.
made one on you.
Okay, I have a success, just a regular success.
He seems to be above the boards. Seems to be a straight shooter.
All right.
Seems he's quite devastated by Jackson's death and is ready to help you guys out.
I'm gonna lean over to Harrison and be like, Harrison, we both know who talked to that reporter.
You did. I mean, I just came to repair the situation and repair.
I didn't even get a word. I didn't even get to talk to her.
I mean, she said, "Hi, how are you doing?" And you said, and that's when I stepped in. So,
Clyde, do you want to go out for another cigarette while they do their thing?
Yeah, I think that would be smart. Thanks for your time.
I'm gonna leave, and I am going to. Yeah. I need time away from Harrison.
Yeah.
Anyways, Harrison, you said you might be getting out of town soon. Do you have any idea where you might be going to pick up the trail?
SFA, my friend. SFA.
All right. Well, I can arrange for travel accommodations on any of the major steamship lines. Should you need to get out of New York in a hurry?
We'll be in touch once we have even the remote, faintest idea of where we'll be going and how we will be getting there. We'll let you know, my friend.
All right. Excellent. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you all.
And you, my friend.
Stay safe,
He-
Carlton.
Takes the last of his bourbon and sees you all. Okay.
Thank you
Are
for
you on your
doing-
way to Prospero House, or would you like to do anything before you get there?
Nope. I'm just gonna stand outside the building and.
On our way out, after I light my cigarette and I take another drag and say, gentlemen, I think it's time we get our story straight for whoever we talk to. Because right now we're just spewing out information left, right, and center. All this investigative work we're doing we're throwing it away.
So what would you suggest that we do, Clyde?
I personally would play my hand close to my chest. I wouldn't reveal more than what is absolutely necessary. I wouldn't talk to any reporters. I wouldn't cast her out on a date, Harrison. I don't think you should see her again. I think we should forget about it.
You realize she's
Clyde-
using you.
Clyde, I just want to point out, I was simply gonna go see why she was at the funeral.
I don't care what you were doing. I'm just saying, moving forward.
I hate this group. I want to use my shotgun on every single one of these people.
Listen, family, Leon. It isn't
I'm
about-
leaving. As soon as Harrison opens his mouth, I'm walking away.
I don't know where he's going, but we have one thing that unites all of us, and that's our loyalty.
That's Jackson. That's our love for Jackson Elias, a man we met in Peru 4 years ago.
I mean, can't say I have much love for the fella anymore,
Yeah.
but I know I'm as in deep with this as all of us are. So let's.
The
just
five of
finish
us,
this job.
the 5 of us hate one another, but we all loved Jackson.
That's right. I mean, that's true. I mean,
It is kind of
keep in touch
true.
with any of you,
I don't
but
hate
I'm
everyone.
Sure all of us kept in touch with Jackson.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's just work hard. Let's just finish this job. Let's go sack some cultists, and then let's never see each other again. Capiche?
I mean, I'm in pretty good standing personally with the
Okay.
majority
When
of
I
you.
said never see anybody again, I meant it, Clyde. So it's been fun. Let's just enjoy this while we can, because I have spoken. Okay.
Jeez,
Does
damn.
anybody else remember voting Harrison to the leader?
Um.
Carlton just gave us the option to leave if we wanted. I'm surprised you didn't take it based off these statements.
Me?
Yes, you.
Well, before I stated my desire to never see any of you again, I stated my loyalty to Jackson and the fact that we all have a job to do. So we might not like working together, we might not respect each other, or to be more specific, none of you respect me, but we have something that we have to do in memory of our good friend. We are going to take these bastards down. And we're going to take them down so hard that they never think to rear their ugly, fishy zombie heads ever again. Who's with me?
Can you just keep that among us, please?
Can you just...
See, now this is exactly what I was talking about earlier when I said get our story straight and not tell everybody everything. We're on the side of the street.
We're on the side of the street. There's billions of people that walk here every day. I'm sure they've heard stranger things than zombies and cults, okay?
I'm sure too. I mean, it's New York, but at the same time, we don't know who's following us now. Anyway,
All right.
yes, let's continue on.
So, you guys make it to Prospero House on Lexington Avenue. It's a rather modest office. It's not like one of the big publishing houses or anything like that. From what you know about it, it's really more concerned in publishing like very niche interest books, which is why Jackson was such a big seller for them. So you're seen into Jonah's office, and it's kind of like getting into the evening at this point. You can see he's like kind of getting ready to sort of wrap up for the day. Well, I mean, it's Saturday, so he probably wasn't really doing much work. But after the funeral, he told you could meet him here. So
he's just been waiting the whole time. Wow, poor guy.
Well, he's a book editor. He's probably got things to do, or a publisher. I see you made it. Come in, sit down.
Yes, but thank you for waiting and taking the time.
No worries. I assume it all went good with Carlton.
Yes, very well. We've
Excellent.
learned a great deal. But hope to learn more with you.
Perfect. Yeah, you're probably going to learn some very interesting things from me. Yeah. So, anyways, Carlton's a good man. I'm glad he got you all sorted, and you've got a good idea of where to go next. So let's clear the air a little bit. If you've been paying attention to the newspapers, it seems like the police are not exactly doing a great job of keeping this under wraps, and their theory of these murders being committed by some sort of blood cult seems to be in line with some of the things that Jackson was telling me over the past while. He's forwarded me some of his notes and preliminary drafts that he was working on while he was abroad. So, it seems likely that Jackson was probably killed by someone he was investigating, or an old enemy perhaps. A lot of Jackson's work was centered on cults, so it seems to make sense from that angle. Sorry, just reading something here.
I don't suppose we could take a look at those notes and early drafts.
Yeah, you can. I've got a few things to show you. So, as you may know, Elias was working on this angle pertaining to the Carlisle expedition and what happened to them a few years back, how they were supposedly killed in Kenya and never to return to America. Jackson had been persuaded that they were not killed, or not all of them were, but they may have survived. He kind of calls his secretary over and gets the file, and there's going to be another handout going into this section. Which number is it? Number 11. Excellent. I think I've got that ready. So this one's important, so I'll read it as well. August 8th, 1924, Nairobi. Dear Jonah, big news. There is a possibility that not all of the members of the Carlisle expedition died. I have a lead. Though the authorities here deny the cult angle, the natives sing a different tune. You wouldn't believe the stories. Some juicy notes coming your way. This may make us all rich. Blood and kisses, Jay.
He never said that to me.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd, but, whatever. So, it seems that Jackson dug up some evidence pertaining to Carlisle and his expedition. A little bit later, he sent me some notes, and then he sent me a telegram from Hong Kong a few weeks later telling me that his inquiries were proceeding nicely.
Busy man,
I'll show you that.
Jackson.
He certainly got around Kenya to China in just a matter of weeks, it seems. I will also send you guys the big docket of notes that Jackson was working on. This one's a little larger.
Ooh.
If you would like me to summarize this, I can do so.
I think so, please.
Yes, it's a rather important document, but it's quite long. So, buckle up, because it's going to take me probably a minute or two to read this. So, Set 1 of the Nairobi Notes sets forth the offices, officials, and tribes which Elias visited, searching for material concerning cults and cult rituals. Elias mentions Roger Corridon, the Colonel Undersecretary for Internal Affairs. However, he notes that nothing conclusive was learned. Elias discounts the official version of the Carlisle massacre. Set 2. So there's different sets of these. So when I say set 2, set 3, so on, that's like a different sort of note that Jackson has given. It's more summarized in the book as opposed to like actually being, a whole docket of research that Jackson would have done. Just in case you didn't get that. So set 2 describes his trip to the massacre site. He notes particularly that the earth there is completely barren and that all the tribes of the region avoid the place, saying it is cursed by the god of the black wind, whose home is the nearby mountaintop. Set 3 is an interview with Johnston Kenyatta, who says that the Carlisle murders may have been performed by the cult of the Bloody Tongue. He says that the cult is reputedly based in the mountains and that its high priestess is a part of the mountain of the black wind. Elias is politely skeptical, but Kenyatta insists upon the point. In quotes, Elias records that regional tribes fear and hate the Bloody Tongue, the tribal magic is of no protection against the cult, and that the cult's god is not of Africa. Set 4 follows up on the Kenyatta interview. Elias confirms from several good sources that the bloody tongue exists, though he finds no first-hand evidence of it. Tales include children stolen for sacrifice and creatures with great wings, which are said to come down from the mountain of the Black Wind to carry people off. The cult worships a god unknown to folklorists, one fitting no traditional African pattern. Elias lists Sam Mariga railway station, Neville German, Dr. Starrett, Lieutenant Selkirk, and Colonel Endicott as people he questioned. Set 5 is a single sheet reminding Elias that the Cairo-based portion of the Carlisle itinerary must be examined carefully. He believes that the reason which prompted Carlisle's Kenyan side trip is on the Nile. Set 6 is a long interview with Lieutenant Mark Selkirk, leader of the men who actually found the remains of the Carlisle expedition. Importantly, Selkirk says that the bodies were remarkably undecayed for the length of time which they lay in the open, almost as if decay itself wouldn't come near the place. Secondly, the victims had been torn apart as if by animals, though what sorts of animals would pull apart bodies so systematically he could not guess. Unimaginable, inexplicable. Selkirk agrees that the Nandis may have had something to do with the episode, Nandis being the local tribe, but suspects that the charges against the ringleaders were trumped up. It wouldn't be the first time, he says cynically. Finally, Selkirk confirms that no Caucasians were found among the dead. Only the corpses of the Kenyan bearers were scattered across the barren plain, despite what was claimed at the inquest. Set 7 is another single sheet. Elias ran into Nelson at the Victoria Bar in Nairobi. Nelson had been a mercenary for the Italians on the Somalia-Abyssinian border and had escaped into Kenya after double-crossing his employers. Nelson claimed to have seen Jack Brady alive in Hong Kong. You guys don't know who Jack Brady is yet. Less than 2 years before Elias was in Kenya and long after the Kenyan court declared that Brady and the rest of the expedition were dead. Brady was friendly, though guarded and taciturn. Nelson didn't press the conversation. This report only strengthened Elias's belief that the principal members of the expedition might still live. Set 8 discusses a possible structure for the Carlisle book, but is mostly featureless, with entries like tell what happened and explain why. Did you guys get all of that?
Yep.
I
bits.
put a star on that part of the handout section so that we
Yep.
know it's important.
So you know where to go to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Look for the stars.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right. So after that, nobody heard from Elias until the middle of last month, around December 16th, 1924. He wired me from London. His telegram was very excited and a bit crazy sounding. He said he was going to be in London for a few days and he was digging something up. He said he'd seen unbelievable things and mentioned some sort of conspiracy of monstrous worldwide proportions. He was always a hyperbolic person, but even for him, these seemed quite exaggerated. He said that there was a timetable, that he needed to find missing pieces. He mentioned he had to go to Australia for some reason, and he didn't explain why. It ended. He said he was going to be in New York soon, and then he took passage on a freighter called the Phalarope.
So it seems our best lead is in Hong Kong.
What?
Well, someone was seen alive there. Does he mention where he's like what bar, where he saw him, or
Oh,
we could go find?
sorry. So that's set 7 of the Nairobi notes. So
Do we know where Jack? Like, do we know where he saw him, or can we find this mercenary?
He ran
the
into a guy
mercenary.
who met the other guy, who there wasn't really anything said.
Now,
I think the best
when
place to go
Jackson
is Africa.
when Jackson came and saw me in December, he left a few other notes, but they were really strange, and I'd really rather not show them to you. They kind of reflect poorly on him. It seems like he was in a state of stress, and I don't think that would reflect well on the dead or on this publishing house, so I'd rather not show those to you.
But
Jonah, it could be pivotal in
clues.
finding him.
Wait a second.
You don't have
I
to
think we
publish.
should see that. We should see it. Show us the notes.
Who's making a persuasion check to get the notes?
Well, it was Mr. Norman there who was reinforcing the idea.
I'll give Norman. Here's how we'll do this. Since three of you kind of push the point, whoever makes the roll has 2 bonus dice. So roll 3 times, take the highest one.
You mean the best one, like the
Is
lowest one?
Norman doing this? Can we talk about this? Who's a persuasive fellow?
I'm
Yeah,
going.
there's penalty dice and there's bonus dice. You guys are more familiar with penalty dice because I've given them out.
I guess Norman's just doing it. Hey,
Fail.
You did.
Norman, what? Just out of curiosity, what was your persuade skill?
10.
I literally have 75 persuade.
Well, guys, we can't.
Well, you were the ones who decided to let.
I
Evan
know
make
we were talking about it, and then Norman started rolling. Yeah.
I mean, I just felt like because Norman was like really the only one that was really pushing it, I felt like he'd be the one persuading.
I kind of feel like you all pushed the point.
What?
But it's not metagaming if we can say like who's a persuasive amount. We don't have to discuss exact numbers, but we can ask who's persuasive, and we know that Harrison is a talkative fellow.
Yeah, show us
But-
the notes, mister, please. We need to know. We're trying to take down a death cult here. Throw us a bone.
I will give any one of you one more chance to make the roll.
Please.
Norman, I knew it.
Can I say something
not-
first? Can I
You
say
might
something?
not think
first,
that
Willem?
I'm a skilled persuader, but my skill would tell you otherwise. And I'm not.
Can I
Well,
say
go ahead,
something
Evan. What do you
first?
say?
We have seen stuff where if I repeated it to any other person than the people in this room, they would think I was unsoundly or a madman. We've seen some really crazy shit, Jonah. So whatever Jackson has written there, it might actually be the thing that we need to figure out what happened to him.
Okay. I will let you make a charm roll in that case. You're kind of trying to charm him now. It's either that would either be a charm or a persuade roll, I think.
I actually have pretty decent in charm.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah, so
failed.
do I, Harrison.
Does this guy always smell like fish?
That's something you don't get away from.
Can
Yeah.
I go? I'm gonna look at Leon.
Oh God! What did I do? What did I do now? I haven't even said anything.
Leon, you
Just
have
follow
that.
his lead.
You have that mask with you, right?
I'm not carrying this fucking voodoo mask around with me.
No, so you don't have it right now.
No, it was huge, wasn't it? It was a pretty freaking big mask.
Oh, I think there's
I thought it was pretty.
It was very
I-
large. I put a picture of it in the handout section.
Yeah, it was quite large.
The big freaky looking one.
Yeah, see, I have there's friggin' 3 heads on top
yeah.
of it. I'm not just
Oh.
carrying that around.
Damn. Norman was totally gonna just like put it on the guy's face just so he knows.
You fucking do that to
Pull the
Jonah?
plug,
I wouldn't have let you do that
What?
to Jonah because I put it on.
That did some serious damage. You just
Yeah, I
put it
got
on
fucked
the-
up. You know what's
I
fucked
don't
up
know
about that
how
is
much- I don't know
I
how much damage it did.
I
just know
succeeded
that
on
he
those
was-
rolls. I believe I got a hard success on those rolls, and I still got fucked up by that
I
mask.
just know that Leon put the mask on and was feeling kind of staggered back by there. I don't know that he
That's
has
true.
really high sanity. I
That
don't
is
know
true.
that what Jack said that it was going to kill him if he didn't have high sanity. I just know that he put it on, saw some shit, and that maybe if I make this guy see some shit, he'll show us the letters.
That's true.
See, Ruth, that's Norman's mind right there. You gotta start
It's
thinking at a
confusing.
different
He's in
level.
character.
I'm gonna try to because Jackson trusted Jonah. I choose to trust Jonah, so I would like to try to convince him by like I want to unveil my wound and be like, this. Listen, I'm gonna use it to persuade him. I want him to be. I'm gonna be like, we need to. Oh God.
If someone showed
What-
me
what
a
now,
wound
Clyde?
to convince me of something, I'd be like, get
Oh,
out
I
of
know,
my
I was
building,
looking at my
dude.
sheet.
I don't know.
I wasn't
Fine,
reacting. I was looking
fine,
at my sheet.
Ruth,
I know. I knew what you were
you-
doing. I was looking at my stuff.
Ruth, you fucking figure shit out then. Let's see what your best idea is.
No, sorry. I go ahead.
No, I'm letting you,
I,
Ruth. No, Ruth, you tell me. You bring out your fucking little cat claws and show Jonah so he can show you the notes.
If it makes you feel any better, the last note is really not worthwhile. It's just, I think Jackson was just really stressed, and it reflects poorly on him. It doesn't
Mister,
really.
Let us be the judge of that.
Was that persuasion?
Now, I understand where you're coming from.
That was
I
more of
would
an
love
intimidation.
the opportunity to persuade him. Unless Evan's gonna take.
Yeah,
a
that wasn't
third
very.
role.
That wasn't very persuasive. That's more of like a fast talk. What you were doing. Let us be the judge of that.
Yeah.
Mister, I understand why
I'm gonna-
you wish.
I think
to do
what
it.
Jack's saying is that you have to
gotta-
roll a
you gotta
fast
throw a
talk.
Fast talk now.
What the fuck? Come on,
Guys, I'm
Just
trying to.
let me win
I
the
wanna-
game.
I want us to be. I want to direct us towards being more like in character and like playing the game it should be. So like, the first thing that Jack says that we need to do, we got to do it. You know, that's how we make it challenging on us.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like,
You gotta think about what you're saying before you say it.
look, I've given you a large document of notes that Jackson left for you. I've given you a personal correspondence between Jackson and myself. I don't think this last thing is really necessary.
Listen, I know where you're coming from. I really do. We respect Jackson. You respect Jackson. Every detail matters in this case. And I'm not saying you have to publish them. We're not going to speak about them. Probably. Like, you know what? Actually, we have a pretty bad track record now that I think about it. You know what? Maybe it's best we don't see them.
You know what? He kind of looks at you, Clyde. You from New York?
Yeah, I'm from New York.
Are you a writer?
No, I'm not a writer.
You in the publishing business? You do anything?
No.
Pick me, please.
That's not
All
my
right.
skill set. I'm good with numbers.
All right. I'll let you look at the notes. I'm not going to let anyone else here look at them. Just you.
You know what? That's
Aye.
fine by me.
All right.
I'll like walk around his side of the desk, I guess.
Yes, and Great and I will be sending you a personal handout.
Ooh.
Ruth is like the fucking devil that sits and floats from shoulder to shoulder and doesn't really do anything, but will get mad at everyone for what they do.
Clyde's a trustworthy guy. I know what he's gonna do. Fuck you guys.
Oh my god.
So
So
I
that's
can't fucking read this.
yeah, that's almost illegible. So I can read it to you.
I would appreciate that.
Jonah. You're gonna read that? Hold on.
So only Clyde knows what this last note says, unless he chooses to share it with you. Many names, many forms, but all the same and toward one end. Need help. Too big, too ghastly. These dreams like Carlyle's. Check that psychoanalyst's files. All of them survived. They'll open the gate. Why? So the power and the danger is real. Many threads beginning. The books are in Carlyle's safe. Coming for me. Will the ocean protect? Ho ho, no quitters now. Must tell and make readers believe. Should I scream for them? Let's scream together.
No, I wish we hadn't read them after all.
We didn't.
didn't.
Only Clyde did.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jonah.
That's all I've got for you.
Okay.
Unfortunately. So
Gentlemen,
I
Jonah.
wish you all success.
if you, Jonah, if you wouldn't mind sticking around for this little decision making here, it seems to me, lady and gentlemen, we have two options here. We can go to Hong Kong, or we can go check out this high priest business on the mountain. Now, Leon wanted to go look in Hong Kong. I don't think that's a good idea because we only have one little bit of evidence. But if I had to bring up anything, it's that I think I know where he talked to this man about Jack Brady. And I think it was at a tavern called the God damn it. What was it again?
God damn it.
It's that early onset.
It was called the Lucky Lantern, I believe.
So the one piece of evidence that you have pointing you to China is the Stumbling Tiger Bar matchbook that you found, Norman,
Yeah,
on
I'm trying to
10
find-
Lantern Street.
The Lucky Lantern.
It's in the handout section.
Oh, it's in the handout?
Yes.
Oh yes, the tiger. A place called the Stumbling Tiger Bar. It's in Hong Kong, and I found a match set. You all know my match set,
Yes,
and it was
great.
You
it had
used-
that address on it on
You
10 Lang.
used Jackson's matches to burn down a building. I forgot about that.
I mean, it's kind of like a sweet revenge for Jackson.
In a weird way, it is, isn't it?
So, the evidence in Africa may be overwhelming, but Hong Kong, we know an exact place to go to see how valid what's going on in Africa.
There's no guarantee we'll find.
Peter, we can't
That's
hear
not
you.
a bad idea. I thought he was done.
No, Pete, we couldn't hear Peter. Peter was saying something,
I was-
and then he.
Oh.
I was just gonna say that we don't know that there'll be anything in this bar by the time we get there.
I don't like how promiscuously you say things.
I know.
It's like you're egging people on without egging people on.
He could literally be telling us that flirting.
Now,
I feel like feeling like I'm being seduced.
I'm not gonna tell you how to go about whatever investigation Jackson has asked y'all to do. But how much do you actually know about the Carlisle expedition? Because I know sweet fa.
I'll admit some research should probably be done.
Well, Carlton or Carlisle, Roger Carlisle lived here in New York, so you can probably find some information out here.
Where do you used to live?
He lived. I guess this would probably be public knowledge. He's a pretty famous guy. Was. Or Westchester? I'm assuming Westchester is a place in New York.
I also have a
Yeah.
follow-up for you, Jonah.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the note we were given mentioned a high priest on top of a nearby mountain. The high
Mm-hmm.
Black wind.
Would this high priest go by a different name, such as the Dark Pharaoh?
God, you were asking Jonah some questions I'm not sure he can answer, but let me make a roll.
Is there anything in Jackson's notes about that?
What?
I heard your computer run and it threw me off first. I wasn't sure what the noise was. I was like, that's a new noise.
Man, I didn't realize running Discord was so hard for my i7.
Wasn't
Um,
No.
yeah, the name the Dark Pharaoh doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, it was worth asking.
wasn't the Dark Pharaoh back in Peru?
Yeah, the Dark Pharaoh was the
Yeah.
guy that took
Okay.
over Augustus'
Augustus Larkin was
Right.
seemed
Okay.
to be possessed by some entity calling itself the Dark Pharaoh.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Chop
I-
the guy's head off.
yes, you chopped a dead man's head off, or Norman did. Now, I think so. If I remember correctly, after Roger Carlyle died, his younger sister took over the family business. And she's still alive and operating in New York. Maybe you could get some information out of her.
I like that idea.
Or you could just go and start finding clues across the world. It doesn't really make too much of a difference to me, if I'm honest.
Well, let's keep things local for a little while longer. Maybe visit Lady Carlisle and get out of
I'm-
town. Because
I'm sorry, Harrison, but I think we shouldn't stay local too much longer after you and Leon's exclusive interview.
I can't believe I keep getting fucking talked into this after all I wanted to do was ask her if she was here to see his funeral. That's all I wanted to ask. I wasn't going to have a conversation with her. And then fucking Harrison had to be like, I'm a cartoon character. Let me zippity-doo-dah-day all the way up next to Leon.
It's incredible that you think she like having Harrison not be there would have changed anything. She was still going to be asking you some hard-hitting questions.
exactly.
Yeah,
And if
but
you
I
came
wasn't.
up with it, you should have dropped an anvil on my head.
Boo. No, I'm kidding. That was good.
So,
No.
gentlemen and ladies, what's the game plan?
I don't care.
Are you asking
Oh.
as a DM or is this Jonah?
This is Jonah asking.
Okay.
I think we go to Africa.
No.
What
we
happened
gotta-
to Hong Kong?
Do you want to realize later on that talking to Lady Carlisle was a good idea and go all the way back to New York, or should we just take advantage of the opportunity while we're still in town and then make a brisk exit from this continent?
I don't usually agree with Harrison, but this is one of those rare times I do.
You could say I agree, Ruth. You don't have to pile it on. Good grief.
I just want you to remember what it's like dealing with you.
deal with me every day.
For what it's worth, I agree with Harrison too. I think we should maybe read some books and see what we might be going into.
Why don't we first go back to Leon's hideout and put together a full game plan? What? What's so
I
funny?
just like that we're
Why-
talking about Leon's hideout in front of what's his name?
Leon.
Hey,
Jonah.
no judgment here. No
Why,
judgment here.
Oh, you should see what's in
Why
the
would-
hideout, pal. You have
Harrison,
lots to judge over. Guy's
why
a
would you?
freak.
Why would you not want to go back to me, Mary?
Well,
I think that's just where we left most of the stuff.
Did you not like the fish stew I made you the other night?
Honestly, Norman, as someone who kind of doesn't like you a whole lot, I have to say your hospitality on the Mary the other night was fantastic. And the only reason I don't want to go there is because I assume that Leon's hideout is closer. Listen, my apartment's not too far from here. Why don't we just hang out at my place, folks? Come on, I'll make you a
Let's
nice
do that.
dinner.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, well,
I would love to see where Harrison Dodge rests his head at night.
I would actually also like to see that.
You know what? I think it's not a bad idea. I think maybe, Leon doesn't have a lot of stuff in his hideout.
honestly,
Perhaps we can gather what artifacts we have and meet back at Harrison.
Do you have food, Harrison?
I I mean, I haven't been frequenting my apartment lately, but I think I can get
There's a bit of
something
echo.
together. It's Peter's to mute his mic. 'Cause I'm sorry, I'm too loud. Yeah, folks, I'll feed you. I got beds, I got pillows. I'll even let you pee in my toilet. I'll do that for you.
You're too kind,
Wow.
Harrison.
What a generous host.
Yes.
I'm usually not used to peeing in such a small body of water.
That's a good one, Norman. That was funny. What do you
All
say?
right.
All right, Jonah, thank you for your time, and thank you for trusting me with the note.
Of course. You rest. You have yourselves a wonderful weekend.
Can't wait for Monday.
I head out.
All right. So after some time, you all get back to Harrison Dodge's apartment. I'd probably put it at like maybe 7:30 in the evening at this point.
My friends, welcome to mi casa. This is the humble Harrison Dodge abode. Welcome.
Please describe it to us.
Yeah, paint me a
please
picture.
tell us what they see.
I really haven't thought it through, so I'm gonna do it off the cuff. Over here we have my esteemed collection of novels from Harrison Dodge, all framed and signed by myself, Harrison Dodge, of course.
Frame
over
and
here we
sign
have-
your own books to put on the wall.
Yeah, because I want myself to have
You're a
control of
narcissist.
you know. Over here we have a wood burning fireplace with a rug of an animal. It's an animal skin. I forget which one. I just bought it from a shop. And some couches. See, I have plenty of places for you guys to sleep, so you can all have a comfortable
Didn't
rest.
you say something about beds?
Uh, couches can be beds in exceptional circumstances. Anyways, here's my kitchen. Here's where I hire someone to make food because I'm a terrible cook and I don't want you to all to know that. So that's Matilda. She's gonna cook you a nice meal this evening. Say hi, Matilda. Matilda, you are the only woman I will ever love, that's for sure. Anyways, back to the tour.
I'm not done with Matilda. Wait.
Look, Matilda's my
Can,
house.
can Matilda say a few more words to us?
I don't know, Matilda. Can you say a few more words? Anyways, the tour. Matilda, you just keep making that casserole, sweetheart. I'm sure it's gonna be mwah.
Okay.
Primo. Over here we have the master bedroom. No one but myself and maybe Ruth will be sleeping in there this evening. But you guys can make yourselves comfortable and at home. I'm glad that you're willing to spend time here. I somehow get the feeling I won't be seeing this place for some time. So, wish to make the most of it tonight. There's wine over there in the wine shelf. And eat, drink, be merry, my friends. Let's do our homework. Let's make a game plan. Let's get ready for an expedition, folks.
Can Matilda be
Harrison,
trusted?
I-
We got some sensitive information, you know.
Matilda, how do I say this? She doesn't speak very good English, and I think she is content with just listening to the wild tales of Harrison Dodge. I mean, I'm an author after all. She doesn't believe half the things I say anyway, so I think it's okay, folks.
See Matilda just in the kitchen chopping vegetables. Porque?
Harrison, I must say, I'm rather impressed. To have a wood-burning stove, or fireplace, sorry, and this many rooms and a full kitchen, how much do you pay in the city of New York for all of this? And a maid?
I pay. Money.
How much money do you have, Harrison?
I can't wait for this to bankrupt you.
I have
$6,000 worth of gold or something like that?
money. Well, let
Yeah.
me tell you, folks. So
Can you give me a more accurate number?
Well, this apartment cost me.
No.
And
I don't need to know how much it cost you. I'm going to tell you that. I need to know how much money you have.
Like right now on my person.
Like how much? What is your character's net worth? You have
Yeah, what do you have in
you have a
assets
section
and stuff?
called assets. I need to know what your assets are.
Oh, cash and assets. Spending level, $10. Cash, $30. Assets, 1,500. Treasure, 4,000.
4,000. So treasure is part of your assets. So you've got
52.
you've got about
or 55.
$5,000 worth of assets.
Cool. Wait, okay, yeah.
He had 5,000.
Look,
Yeah, how much does this house cost?
it's not like I bought this apartment this morning just to make you guys think I was rich. This is my humble abode. My wife and kids.
I know.
Before we got divorced.
That's why I'm asking you how much
still
you
live
pay, because
here.
I'm impressed.
You have kids?
Yeah, I just don't talk about them because the wife is still away.
You have a wife and you propose to Ruth?
Yeah, because I don't know what about the wife taking the kids away didn't imply this already, but I'm divorced. She hates me. She took.
Oh, I thought I wasn't final. Harrison, my apologies, truly.
Yeah, truly. Not I can't believe you would assume that I wouldn't be divorced. Honestly, God,
I
I'm
just
afraid.
broke my
I
pencil
didn't
for that news.
think in your arms would ever leave, truly.
I didn't hear what you said, but
I said I wouldn't believe that any woman in your arms would leave. I'm genuinely shocked at that, and that's sounds sarcastic, but I'm not. You're a very dashing fellow, and I appreciate you inviting us into your home.
thank you, Clyde. Thank you for saying that. It's just been so long since I've had anyone but me and Matilda here. He's very lonely. Thank you, Matilda. Back to the casserole, please. As I was saying, anyways, make yourselves at home. Like I said, I won't be seeing this place for some time, but hopefully I'll see it again soon.
I'm gonna go and open one of your bottles of wine.
I think it's important that we formulate a game plan for what our next moves are. I think it would be useful if we broke into a team or two teams. Sorry, I had a couple glasses of wine at this point. I think that we should have two teams. I think we should break into teams that, based on who's seen us together and who we've spoken to, would be least suspicious. AKA, don't put Leon and I together, and leave Norman here at the apartment. As I was saying, I think it would be good to interview Lady Carlisle, and we also have to book our tickets out of here.
So not even accounting for the apartment, it costs you about $3,000 to keep Matilda employed per year.
A generous man.
And how much do you think a best-selling book would earn me? Let me tell you, you won't believe what we saw down there was a revolutionary, one-of-a-kind book.
Oh, don't lie. You just hired Matilda for today.
Matilda's one of my closest friends. Matilda spent hours and hours of
Slaving over you?
What about us?
Well, I don't see much of you guys other than the past 3 days, and boy, have I ever seen enough of you. But anyways, look, just take my word on it.
You guys got a lot of money from the pyramid, so you guys are doing fine. You can basically afford to do whatever you want within reason, assuming you're still have money coming in through your actual jobs. So you're fine. But it costs you a lot of money to do this, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, honestly, Matilda's company is worth more than money can say.
You can't put a price on friendship.
That's right.
Harrison, I mean, if it wasn't already a slam dunk for the women you bring home, as soon as they step inside, surely you have them.
It's
That's right.
it's like
Hear
it's
that,
almost
Ruth?
like you're living with
you
your
hear
mom.
that? You hear that, Ruth? It's a slam dunk.
It's a done deal, baby.
All right.
There's the master bedroom for
But
you.
yes, aside from Harrison's extensive wine collection and his fine furs, his fine fur mat in front of the beautiful fireplace, and his housekeeper cooking you all a delicious meal, what would you guys like to do going forward?
Harrison, that's not a bad idea. What you just said. I will say what I was holding back in Jonah's office there is I've done some reading on this Africa's Dark Sect book we found at the Juju shop. There's not very many copies left, and this copy has a Harvard stamp with a name, Miriam Artwright. I think perhaps she might be able to tell us more.
I think we need to. It's important that we have a plan put together because when we leave New York, we might not be coming back for a long time.
Oh,
So-
actually, speaking of that book, Clyde.
Hmm.
So I will consider this. You've done what is considered an initial reading of the book.
Okay.
So when you find spooky books like this, they can do a few different things.
Ooh.
Let's see.
How's the couch holding up, Matt?
It's very comfortable. Like I lean forward because it gives me a better angle on the camera, but eventually my body gets sore, and honestly, I could just lay down on this couch and sleep, not like inviting myself.
Here we
There's
go.
another great couch, like right there or right there.
That's a lie.
Yeah, I think I'm good. This is a high quality couch. I think.
Like the wooden bars on those couches, they're not even that bad to sleep on.
Yeah,
I can't even begin to imagine sleeping on that couch.
I use 2x4s as a pillow all the time, Peter. So I totally understand.
So, from reading this book, Clyde, you lose 9 sanity points.
Ugh. Ugh.
Should have made Jonah read the book.
Yeah. You gain 2 points to your Cthulhu Mythos skill.
Okay.
If you want to study it fully, you can do that. So the way it works is with the books, you have like an initial period where you just read it like from cover to cover, and then you have another period where you can do like a full study of the book to gain more knowledge from it. You also find from reading the book that there is a spell in this book, which in terms for you would mean that there's some sort of like ritual or something in here that you can potentially perform. But in gameplay terms, if you want to learn a spell, you can do that. This is your first opportunity to do so.
Ooh. Do I know what the spell does?
Seems to be a ritual for turning somebody into a strange undead horror.
Probably best if you don't learn that, Clyde. I just don't want to piss you off one day and spend the rest of my life as a fish person,
One day.
I don't want to keep pissing you off on a daily basis.
And can I in order to cast the spell, I imagine I have to study the book some more fully?
Not fully. Doing a study of the book is different from learning a spell in the book.
Okay.
So if you do a full study of the book, you don't learn the spell. And if you learn the spell, you don't do a full study of the book. You either do one or the other, or you can do one or or you can do both, just at different time periods, because it takes time to do either one.
Right.
Yeah.
Does learning a spell affect my sanity? Probably, I imagine.
It does not actually.
Oh.
Sometimes to cast spells, it costs sanity, but not always. It depends on the spell.
I like Harrison's
I imagine-
rug at the front door there.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Take a look at this.
You also, since you've read the book, you now know that Nigel Blackwell, the person who wrote these notes, when he was in Kenya, he saw some sort of ritual where something was summoned. Something very unsettling.
Pretty,
where something was
solid
summoned?
depiction of my apartment.
Yeah.
I like how the wine shelf transformed into the wine
Yeah.
stand.
Okay. So, sorry, I just wanted to get that out of the way so we don't have to do it later. Please continue on your discussions.
Okay, so it sounds like we should have one group of people speak to Lady Carlisle, and the other group of people speak to the person that wrote The Dark Sex of Africa, or something?
Um,
Is it
Africa's
speaking to the
Dark
writer
Sex.
or Africa's Dark
Speaking to
Sex?
somebody in the Harvard Library whose name was in the book.
Yes. Yeah, so get some intel, get some supplies, get on a ship by the end of the evening.
Point of clarification.
Weekend.
Point of clarification for you, Graydon. The book doesn't say Miriam Atwright. You have a letter that says Miriam Atwright on it.
Right, yeah, I was just looking for that.
Yeah.
Miriam, right, yeah. The book with you in question is no longer in our collection. Okay. But the book itself does have a Harvard stamp, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's my bad. I put the letter and the book together. So there's a letter that Jackson was looking for, a book in particular, and that was no longer in the collection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So the game plan right now: stay in New York, leave New York.
I
What's
say
that?
we stay in New York and do some research. I think it's not a terrible idea to maybe split up and get some of us to talk to Lady Carlisle and some of us to go to Harvard. Or we could stick together if you think that would be safer. I think that might be a little safer now that I say it out loud.
The Eric Carlisle is on the way to Harvard because she's in Westchester, which is in like north of New York City. She's a rich person, so you probably can't just barge into her house unannounced.
Perhaps we should send a letter in advance. Harrison, you're a writer.
That'd take quite a while to get to her.
We can deliver we can deliver the letter in person.
So then why not just go to her door?
I imagine there's a gate barring our entry to the residence.
Those of you who are from New York, the Carlisles are extremely wealthy and probably don't just have a quaint little country house. It's probably a massive compound. Probably.
They have at least 3 Matildas.
At least.
No one could replace you, Matilda.
And pretty soon Ruth will be saying the same thing.
You know,
Matilda?
honestly, she does about like 60% of the heavy lifting when it comes to the ladies, you know? Sure, they're impressed by the apartment the moment they walk into the door, but once they meet Matilda, the clothes just fall off.
We
Do I-
could go deliver. We could go deliver this letter if you want. Go to the university and on our way back, if we've been welcomed, or we can just go request a meeting. That's also a possibility.
Well, I mean, what if we maybe tell a little bit of a porky pie, and we say that we are interviewers slash authors, that are like basically like wanting to investigate or like do like a scoop or something, like something that would convince her to be willing to speak to some of us commoners, you know?
What if we set a fire on the east side of the lot and then break in from the west side? And then that way we get her alone while her Matildas are working on the fire.
We could also just try to sneak instead of setting the place on fire.
But
That's
no,
just-
because if we are not invited to her property, A, she's not going to give us the information that we would want from her, and B, she's going to draw the fuzz that's on our trail exactly to our location. We have to be sensitive about the way that we handle this, or we would make our bad situation far worse.
We live in a society. I suggest
certainly
Okay.
do.
I suggest that we
For
don't
crying out loud.
burn down. I suggest we don't burn down their residence or try to break into their residence.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Norman, I appreciate that you're contributing ideas. Let's maybe just make that plan like Z. Okay, how's that sound?
Okay. So you're saying
And just so we're clear, Norman, Plan Z means it's literally the last thing we will consider doing after we've exhausted every other plan that we could possibly think of. I just want to make sure we're on the same page of that. Yes, Norman?
looks like we're gonna be ending up doing Plan Z anyways.
Okay,
so...
Norman, can I just get you to? I'm gonna just drop a little contract here, and I just want you to sign at the bottom that says that you acknowledge that burning down her house is literally the very last thing that we're gonna do. Can you just sign this for me?
Actually,
Harrison,
Clyde,
I'm not ready for bed
could I
yet.
could I get
Can't- if I
a
read that, I'm
language
gonna fall
English
asleep.
check from you, Clyde? I just remembered that I'm supposed to ask you that before I give you anything about the book. It depends on what language the book is written in. It's in English, so should be a fairly easy roll.
I thought like his English skills were like in danger for a second or something.
No.
Wait, so do you?
You need to pass.
Well, we are in a society.
So you have
True.
language. There's language other and language own.
Yeah.
English is your native tongue, so your English score is just your whatever your education is.
Okay. Success.
Success, excellent. You can tick that box off because it's a successful skill check. We've never had a language roll before. Every time you read a special book, I need to ask you to do that. Otherwise, you don't get anything from it.
Okay.
So
It'd be kind of funny
I was
if his
just
English
yeah.
stat was in like jeopardy if he didn't succeed that. Like he reads the book and all of a sudden he looks up and he's just like, "Okay, pass it."
I forgot how to read.
Oh, I'm illiterate.
Excellent. Yes. So, anyways, continue on your conversation about breaking into a rich person's house.
Sorry, just a conversation about how that is literally the last thing that we're going to do. I just want to make sure that Norman is.
How about we don't do it at all? Why even the last thing?
Well, I just think that if it's the last thing, that it's the thing that we do, that we would consider doing after we would do all of the sensible things and the things that are guaranteed to succeed. Therefore, we wouldn't actually ever have to do that thing. I just, I want to make sure Norman knows that his ideas are valid. I just want to make sure that Norman also knows that bad ideas are the least valid. You know what I'm saying? It's about a hierarchy, like a structure. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Seems like you're not convincing Norman.
Yeah, anyways, Norman, try and come up with a couple other things. Like I'd love to have you contribute to the group. It's always great for us to do it as a team. Just little pro tip for you. Not suggesting arson is a really good idea to bump your ideas up to like maybe plan D. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind, Chief. Keep doing great work.
Why don't we just go to
Uh,
the gate and see if she'll let us in?
Funny
that
what
could be an
said.
option. I
Why
was
don't you
I was gonna
forward to
suggest
the
perhaps
your impressive talking skills to actually get us in the complex.
I mean, we could, in theory. If I had to guess, I would assume that she's a Harrison Dodge fan. I could potentially slip her a signed copy of Well, I wouldn't do You Won't Believe What Happened to Us Down There, because that might arouse a bit of suspicion about what we're doing next. Maybe one of my earlier books, like the Bird Keeper's Keeper. That's a classic. Everybody loves the Bird Keeper's Keeper. That's a good chick book. Yeah.
Who is the bird keeper's keeper?
I'm also
It's
curious.
It's the early rendition of the Matrix.
You gotta read the book to find out, folks. If you can find it in any damn library in this town. It's a job well done here, boys. Let's just go home, huh?
Harrison is like the 1920s equivalent of like a James Patterson who writes the same trashy novel like 300 times, but people keep buying it.
Hey, my mom loves James Patterson, and I'm gonna tell her you said that.
It's fine. On Amazon Prime Day, I was looking through the book section, and there were so many that were like cowboy romance stories written by the same person, and like there was one that was just like tough guy who kills people and has a dog romance books, all written by the same person. Like the cover of every book was the same. It was like really muscular tough guy and his dog on the front of the cover. That's neither here nor there. But I would like to know. Yeah, no, of course not. Never. How could I compare those books to something like I Fucked the Mummy Princess or whatever your best-selling books are?
Well, that one was one of my earlier kind of raunchy books. I was trying to kind of find my style at that point. The Bird Keeper's Keeper is really where
It's where you found your voice.
Dodge. Yes, that's right. Thank you.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Before we end tonight's session, I would like to have like a game plan. I want to know what you guys are doing.
Yes, Ruth. Please tell.
I liked Leon's plan of dropping off a request to meet with the Carlyles, going to the university, and then on the way back, going back to the Carlyles. We're together, and it seems to be somewhat efficient.
I like that idea a lot, and I can pull my signed copy of the Bird Keeper's Keeper off the shelf there, and we'll take that with us, okay? Listen, there's got to be something in it for her. She's an important lady. She's got lots of money. She doesn't have the time for us, and we have to make.
Maybe you can pour some of that smooth talking into a note that we can pass on as a request.
I am way ahead of you, my friend.
Are you drafting a note for her? A request?
No,
to write.
He's hoping that you'll draft it, Jack, and then it'll be convincing.
Well, no one has to draft anything. But if he's drafting a note to request an audience, he needs to make a roll for it.
Okay, I can do that. Wait, like, do I have to roll to see if it succeeds when I give it, or do I have to roll to see if it's like a good note, like right now?
You have to roll right now. I need an art/craft writing skill from you.
Maybe we should type it.
If you didn't give yourself that, I don't know why you're a writer.
I was really worried. It's there, you know. For some reason, as a guy who's made his fortune off of writing books, I seem to be more skilled at fighting, shooting guns, and administering first aid, among other things.
Things you've never done?
And we've seen you shoot guns. We've seen you a few times.
Well, vampires only write persuasive notes as well as you shoot guns. We're in some serious trouble. All right, folks, and the moment of truth, Kamehameha.
Uh-oh, he failed.
It was an extreme success. I rolled a 6.
Oh.
Okay.
I was about to serenade this woman.
He dots some of the eyes with hearts.
Ooh.
It's the calligraphy is impeccable.
I can't wait for her deceit to be undone when she meets him and you talk your way into a hole.
Like, I'm gonna write her this magnificent note with a signed copy of my book. She's been reading my novels for years. She can't wait to meet me in person. And the first thing I say is, "So your brother's dead, huh?" I don't think so.
Never meet your heroes. That's the
Hey, if we're gonna talk to her, the first thing we should not say to her is her brother's still alive.
Yeah, we'll save that for dialogue.
We'll say one of her brother's friends are still alive.
We won't say that, because then she'll be spooked.
We'll say we'll see her in pieces later as well.
Oh my god! Oh no!
Just threaten the multi-millionaire businesswoman.
I'm gonna bring my hush blanket and I'm gonna present it to her and see if she'll fund me.
Oh, wow. All right. On that note, it's about 10 o'clock, so I'd say that's probably as good a place as any to cap it for this week. Yeah, thank you all so much for joining us. This has been a wild ride. I didn't know where we were going to go after this, but since you guys haven't quite made up your mind, might take me a little while to prep the next session. I gotta read the book cover to cover, I think, but that's fine. I've been putting it off for too long. It takes so long when you can do like 20 pages a night, and the book is 666 pages long. So,
best of luck with that, Chief.
Thank you.
I know only the Keeper of Arcane Secrets is the one that can handle such an arduous task.
Yes, absolutely. But as always, thanks for joining us. This has been Live Connection playing Masks of Nyarlathotep from Chaosium's Call of Cthulhu. If you like what you see, be sure to join us on Sunday for the podcast. And other than that, every Thursday and Sunday, I believe. I don't think we got any other streams scheduled at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.